All right. Are you guys ready for the guy that inspires all of us in SEO to up our game on video? Are you guys ready for our next guest? All right, here he is. Woohoo! There he is. Hey, how are you, my friend?
Love it, love it. Thank you guys for the intro.
Hi there, how you doing?
You
Good to see
you cannot take the designer out of you. You are through and through audio, visual. You've got the whole thing down, so it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually graduated college in multimedia, and I never knew when to use it until just like last year.
Yeah,
we felt a bit of pressure. We had to
stuff.
come up with something, so we kind of upped the game a bit. But you clearly, of all the YouTubers, I believe, have the highest production values, the best audio, the best light, and the best backdrop. So it just shines through. So yeah, brilliant. Oh wow, audio as well.
He's got a lot of toys, doesn't he?
Thank you. No, I mean, again, it's for the love of SEO, right? And it just applying like a lot of other skill sets we have, right, to be differentiate ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant.
Yeah, now,
and also, well,
yeah,
Daryl, you go on.
No, you go ahead, Simon. No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I know you've been saying hello a few times earlier on, so I don't think we'd called up any of your messages. So thanks to you for your contributions to that. We didn't have a chance to show your message earlier on, so thanks for watching along. I don't know if you saw one of the earlier draws, because you were a winner in one of them. I don't know if you saw that, but so we can announce that now. You won a domain. And
I know, I saw that.
Oh, you saw that? Oh, brilliant. Oh,
yeah. No,
yeah.
Thank you for that. I'm curious. I'm actually even curious to even see that course that you got. I got access to.
Yeah, SEO Underground. So yeah, it's all sort of different speakers just talking about from a conference last month that Paul Ogden organised, and yeah, there's some real insights there. It's a black hat conference. I don't know if that's actually a thing or not, but you can have a look when no one else is watching. And there's some real eyebrow raising things discussed, some real insights. So yeah, enjoy that one.
Yeah, I believe if we've been doing SEO for over 20 years, 15 years, we've all touched the black hat stuff.
Yeah. So great. So I know our good buddy CC Craig Campbell said we're the Wish version of your show. Wish.com. Wish.com. You know how it's like
sort of
not quite Amazon
budget version. Yeah.
So has it been hard? Has it been hard to watch?
No, I've been loving it. It's like a great stuff you got going on, and very organized. I love the intros you did. I mean, it's all about the little touches, right? Even like when you're waiting, even just stuff like this. You could have had just a simple, two screens, Zoom looking or not, but you're using everything, which is great. Which is also shows off to like makes a difference.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, we're trying. Yeah.
Yeah, this has been an inspiration from our Sunday live shows. We've been doing really well with the Sunday live. It all started last year during COVID. We just started saying, when do I have a time that I can always commit to doing a show? And it's hard sometimes when you're busy to pick a daytime. And so we picked Sunday because it's like we're kind of resetting for the new week and everything like that. So we did the Sunday live thing, and it's been going great. Like we've been having a lot of people participating. We open up the guest line and things like that. Well, we're still a baby show. We're really small compared to what you've got going on. But then I had this idea, and I approached Simon about this, and I'm like, I really want to do it wasn't called Webbython at the time, but I want to do a marathon webinar on Cyber Monday, just to give back to the community. Instead of asking for money, let's just give value. Let's just this is the holidays and this is a small industry. Let's all get on here and share with one another, like some tips. Like Bradley just came on here, just dropped some major stuff, So yeah, it's just so cool, right?
No, he was dropping some major knowledge bombs, man. He was just blowing up. I mean, that was some great stuff. Bradley was like, man, he needs to come on the show too. So, but yeah, I mean, like even for today, like video is very, very important nowadays, right? Because you even mentioned like when stuck here in COVID, when we're stuck at home, trying to feel it, how can we connect with our audience? And video is the best way to connect with the audience. It's authentic, especially if you're doing lives, right? Because they can immediately see who you are. They can immediately ask questions within the live chat. And once you create that connection, and once you hit that 1,000 true fans, that's when the money can start coming in.
I love that. Drop another bomb for yourself. That was good.
Oh.
Hey, listen, what are you using for lighting? My God, look at us. We look so unhealthy. You look great.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
I mean, like again, I was a photographer. I first got into SEO as a photographer. I was shooting a lot of content, a lot of models. I mean, I was into glamour photography back 20 years ago, and so I have like a huge umbrella light source right here to the right side, was my main light. Then I have a little fill light here, like a little fill light, so it's slightly less power, so it kind of adds a little shaping on my face. And then I have a hair light to pop me out a little bit.
Oh, hair light too.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Wow,
that's amazing. Yeah.
and the stuff back lighting here. Yeah, 3-point lighting, and then the stuff back here, just regular floodlights, some little cheap floodlights from Amazon. LED lights. They're on the floor. I'm just shining it up to kind of like separate me from the background, and visuals like that.
Is that your real
quality.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I can scroll out here. You can see.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's my real background. It's my all the books I've read. I'm a huge avid reader, I push on knowledge. Reading a lot is very healthy.
We've got to step things up, Daryl. Honestly, we've been shown the way.
Yeah,
here
we do. Well, I haven't talked to you, but I would love to have Paul as a third host next year on the Webbython. I think he would be an awesome third host if he's interested.
Hey, let me know. Let me know.
You can help us
I'd
bring
love
our
to.
game. I mean, this is like, yeah, I think it would be really cool. But
yep. Totally.
We have a delay here because it's just been streaming a long time. So I apologize for that. So go ahead with what you were saying.
Oh no, I would definitely love to come on, come on and help out. I mean, again, it's all about just being able to provide the value, and if there's any questions out there, ask me anything. I didn't prepare anything for today, but I'm here to share anything I've learned through my journey as a creating a show, whether as an SEO, whether it's live streaming. And it's funny, ever since I started the show, I've been doing SEO for over 15 years now. But when I get invited as a guest, it's always about how to live stream. I was like, I've only live streamed for like the past year and a half. I kind of really planned it out, and was able to add all this stuff, put them together, and create that show.
So just for the people that aren't familiar with your show and your background, you can give us just a couple of minutes just to explain what it is. I mean, obviously I'm aware of it, and Daryl as well, but just to explain, a little bit of context about SEO Video Show and what your background is, where you've come from.
Oh yeah, definitely. So my name is Andre de Vera. I'm an enterprise SEO professional has been in the game for over 15 years. I work at big companies like SAP, Anaplan, and a company called Workday. So huge tech companies, B2B. And I've been doing this for 15 years. And the show just came about just within the past year and a half. It's less than 2 years old. It's about a year and maybe 3 months old. And it came from us being stuck at home, and it was something I've always wanted to do. Like, hey, I've always had a degree from college as a multimedia person, a photographer, but I've never really did anything. I just went straight into corporate marketing, and I stopped from there. And then so I decided to hey, you know what? I think this is the perfect time. So I kind of bought a course. I'm big on courses. That's why I love courses, because it's all these knowledge packed stuff you can get that's organized in a way that you can understand and just go at your own pace. So I bought a course on live streaming. And within about 3 months, learned all the software I needed, learn all the equipment that kind of needed for all the stuff. And then I love planning. I'm not one of those guys that, they say, oh, just press record. I like planning things out, because I believe first impression is big, right? Because when you have to make that first impression, you can gather that audience and they'll come back every single week. And then that's when I started to do the SEO video show within the past year and a half. And, how people ask, so how do you even get guests? How are you getting guests like the awesome guests like that, right? It's all about your network. I mean, I've been a part of groups like, SIA, IMG, all these different type of groups, testing groups and communities. And, and when you engage there, it's so easy to just reach out and ask, because when some people really undervalue the concept of just asking for help, people are willing to help. So they'll come on. All you got to do is ask. And that's one of the things that I really feel like people should be doing. Like, if you want to start a show, you want to like get anything, just ask for help, ask your community, because they are willing to help.
Well, I mean, this is the case in point with Webbython. I mean, we literally, we weren't sure who would be on here really and what would happen, but we got on with Craig Campbell and asked him if he was interested, and he was. And then we started saying, well, let's like ask President Obama. Like we were going crazy.
We were weren't we? I think it built our confidence, and then we started asking all sorts of people, and we put it together on that. And you're absolutely right. People have been very helpful, and pretty much everyone has said yes, and that's great. You know, it's great to get that feedback. And I think you're right. People are much friendlier, probably in every industry, but you know, in the SEO business than you'd imagine. So I think do reach out. It certainly worked for this, and
exactly.
We've got a guy coming up. Oh yeah, just real quick, we got a guy coming up at 7 o'clock. He is a YouTuber that I watch, the affiliate marketing dude. I don't know if you've ever seen any of his stuff, but he does some production value stuff as well. And he's spot on about his knowledge about affiliate marketing. He has 124,000 real subscribers on his YouTube, like no fake stuff there. And he does great. He's a huge inspiration. I'm really looking forward to talking to him, and talking to you is a huge inspiration for me as well, because I really appreciate the guests that you've brought in the last year, like Neil Patel and like, you know, some of these huge people that are really hard to, you know, get in contact with. You've pulled them onto your show and you've held it down with them. So it's been great.
Yeah, again, networking is huge, and it's always asking others to even be a connector. Like how I got even Neil was like, I actually asked him like a really long time ago, and you know, I didn't get an answer, but I actually interviewed one of his like good friends, and so, hey, can you make the connection there? And then so he made the connection. He said like, oh, the show is awesome, very well produced, and then he responded right away and got on. So again, it's being able to even ask the people that you've actually even worked with, right? And being connected to those people.
I think it's interesting what you said about, obviously your show's actually not that old. I mean, you know, it's popular, it's well produced, but it's not that old. And obviously the stuff we've been doing on Sunday Live is not that old. And you know, I think COVID has changed a lot of things for everybody. My background is actually as a photographer, so you know, my lighting's not quite as good. I'll need to get a softbox out and step it up. But you know, COVID obviously hit our industry very hard, and I was obviously doing my own SEO on my own website, and I was helping some other people. But yeah, when that happened, it's a question of, you know, like a lot of businesses, I think all of us look around and say, well, what are we going to do? You know, there's no scene or site when this, because again, you know, lockdown for us where I was a few months, but of commercial work and no work coming through. But at that stage, you didn't know. It could be 3 months, 6 months, a year. You know, none of us know how it's going to go. We're obviously still in it. So I think it did mean that a lot of people, myself included, Daryl as well, sounds like you too, took a chance to have a look at things. And I would never have imagined in a million years that I'd be doing you know, live streaming, because it's just like, well, I like to stay behind the camera. I don't want to do this sort of thing. But you know, COVID and those sort of challenges has forced people to look at different business models. And now, probably like most people, I spend 5-6 hours a day on a marathon doing Zoom calls and everything else. But it is a way to, you know, I've connected with so many different people from all parts of the different world and different industries and different places because of that. So it has kind of shaken things up. And yeah, interesting to see that, you know, I think a lot of people's shows maybe are a year or so old, and it does tie in with some of the challenges of last year. So it's very inspiring anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, even with just starting off, right? Everyone starts from zero, and you know, people shouldn't be worrying about like, you know, all the subscribers and stuff like that. I mean, I've hit my first 1,000 subscribers and got monetized within about 6 months. And I hear that to get monetized, it takes like on average about 16,000. 16 months. And I was able to do it in about 6 months. And it's just really connecting with the people and just really reaching out to your own audience. Like people ask, like, how'd you get your first 100 subscribers? I'm like, hey, it was family. Hey, my mom and dad watched my show. So I'm like, if you're really curious about having people like, you know, grow, just ask all your friends, ask everyone to, you know, come on. And so, you know, just they'll support you.
Great advice. Awesome. Yeah. I need to find a few more friends and family, I think, actually, to build things up. It's a good idea. Just look at the people that are around you and get them to help you. Absolutely.
What is the long range plan for your show? I mean, it looks like you have Dre TV, which is a great domain, by the way. I freaking love it. But what are your long term plans, like 3, 4, 5 years from now?
Well, I mean, like right now, I'm still a corporate marketer. That's what I'm doing. But I mean, I do plan to retire from the corporate marketing game within the next few years. But I do have with the SEO Video Show. I've already been getting reached out to get sponsorship. So like I was waiting. I didn't want to take any type of sponsorship until at least 1 year, just to make sure I have a solid audience, being able to have the data to show to even pitch it even higher, right? Because I mean, I have a mirrored LinkedIn group page, so like that kind of like that has the same amount of followers as my YouTube channel. So you can actually, companies can see the actual companies they can target if they go on my channel. Within like my space, like my average CPM on what I see on my Google Analytics is about $70 per CPM. And, you know, it's like revenue per minute is what, $10 or something. So it's really high. So I have like big companies that are actually, they know that my channel attracts other businesses or other professionals within other big companies. And being able to have all that data to put into a nice rate card, we'll be able to, I'll be able to sell it to, you know, whoever wants it, or give it out to even who's been asking. But again, I really want to just keep it, you know, kind of ad free. And everything, like when I promote other things on there, it's because, you know, they're for friends, I'm doing for favors and stuff like that, but nothing, I'm not accepting, you know, any kind of monetary compensation for anything. I mean, I feel like, again, it's a show to give back, and then that's how you can provide value and provide that connection with your audience. You don't try to sell them. Even when I do come with that course, I know I was telling you, Daryl, like, you know, I'm planning on working on a course, on a very serious course on whole video marketing and even live streaming. But I'm not going to be pushing it like all the time. It's going to be, if I get, like I said, like people ask me, like, how do I do this stuff? I can point them to there. You know, I'll have it on there. You know, if they want to learn how to do it, great. But the show is going to be pretty much for that value. And you talked about Dre TV. I mean, I love domains. I have Dre.tv, Dre.me, Dre.ai. Like, that's all I have PaulAndre.com. I had that for quite some time. So I was a big domainer back in the days. And I still have hundreds of domains where, like, I'm still paying it for the past 10 years and not even used it. But I mean, one of the things, you know, it's fun. I think it's addictive when you find a great domain. It's a great idea. It's like, you just buy it, right? It's like $10 and you just buy it. And but yeah,
you're speaking to the right guy here. Daryl loves domains. You probably know this already. He's a massive domainer. Yeah, totally.
Oh yeah, I was such a cyber squatter back earlier in the years. Like, I have one of the ways I was able to make money, like when early years, maybe like about 15 years ago, Max Magazine used to put out like the top 100 models, and I would register every model that didn't have a domain. And then someone would reach out to me and like try to ask to buy it. And I'll go, oh yeah, I was a fan. I'm a big fan. And then here you can buy it for like $500. You know, nothing ridiculous. So they'll pay for it. Like, okay, $500, boom. You only paid like $20 for it. So it's like, that was one of the things I used to do before. But, you know, back to like, you know, what I see the show and Dre.tv, I'm here to really put out value. Like at the Dre.tv is more on my personal branding, public speaking, and be able to like produce like that connection with people. It's all the books. I'm doing a show on every single book, reviews on every single book I read it there, to get to where I'm at within my career and where I'm at today, right? Because without reading and learning stuff, I was able to, you know, not be where I'm at right now, right? I mean, I owe it to like a lot of like mentorship, a lot of reading, a lot of, you know, education and self-teaching.
That's really awesome. You know, I noticed when you post things on Twitter, you get a responsive audience. I'm sure we'd get the same thing if we looked at your LinkedIn, your YouTube is on fire and things like that. So your authenticity is coming out on your social platforms. And I think that's why you're winning so well and you're getting invited to things. We were really happy to get you to come on here because I've always had a lot of questions I want to ask you, because I've been watching your show for a long time. And just, you know, the guests are just amazing. Your questions are great. I love the news recaps that you do every week. Someday we hope our Sunday live gets on there. Just hint. But yeah, we definitely think that you're a shining star in the industry because you're giving so much value. You're spending the time to plan your thing, and then, you know, there's the original Dre. With, you know, the $1 Million Man and the introduction, box, you know, the wrestling and all that. So you are the OG of that, and so I think that it's one of those things. Dave, my friend there from Clubhouse, said he loves the Will Reynolds episode. I didn't see that one, but I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, there's definitely
yeah,
a lot of knowledge bombs from I try to bring out. Like my thing is like I do improv classes, I do public speaking. So what I'm able to do is like I'm able to try to grab that information out of them, right? Like I'm able to like pick up where they left off and dig deeper to just like a regular tip. Like I want to like have them explain a certain tip where they can go deeper. That way, being like a great interviewer, it brings even more value to the show. Like maybe someone could have the exact same guest and ask the same questions, but not get the same answers, right? And it's all about making the guests feel comfortable. Like you said, like in our industry, I feel like we all started like, like we grew up in the 90s or, early 80s, 90s. So it's like what I put on the show is everything I grew up with so I can resonate with others. Like the wrestling, the $1 Million Man, like the whole 90s theme, like the colors and the fonts. That's all 90s. And that's what I grew up watching. And I feel like a lot of SEOs are around the same, grew up the same year.
Yep.
I could see it in the analytics, like, it's average 34 to 45 and stuff like that. So it's like, whatever I talk about, at least I know I'm resonating with the people that's watching.
That's a great thing. I mean, it shows. I mean, to get to monetization in 6 months the authentic way, that's really good. Awesome. Simon, were you thinking anything? I saw you come off mute.
Yeah, no, I was interested in some of the stuff you're talking about, personal branding, and I look through your buy-in, and you've got like a whole separate channel on that, and you're also mentioned that you're into public speaking, mentioned Toastmasters and other things. Can you tell us a little bit more about that side of the non-SEO side of things, just to give us a full picture?
Yeah, of course, because I mean, public speaking was something that was able to help me get promoted. One time, like in the corporate world, one time someone mentioned like one of my bosses, I was trying to apply for a job. I mean, not a job, but a new position within the company, like like something that would move me up. And they mentioned that they were going to hire someone else to talk about the great work I was doing. I'm like, what? Like, what? And then they're saying like some that was more polished to talk to executives. So that's when I decided to do something about it. And I was like, I'm going to learn and work on my public speaking, not being able to reduce my odds, ums, and so's, and being able to be more professional within like a crowd and be more persuading, be more influential in meetings to like push off metrics and get things done. But Toastmasters was a nice thing to happen to me. And it was one of the greatest things to happen to me. I was able to get, another position within another company, get, land stuff, certain things, be not afraid to be in front of the camera, which, I used to be, didn't want to, like I said, I was a photographer. I would love being behind the camera, not in front of the camera.
I relate to this completely. I said this earlier on in the stream today. I mean, it's not being in front of a camera is not what you want to do. It's behind it. Can you explain for people that are not familiar with Toastmasters? And I have to say, I've not. I sort of researched it and looked at the website, understand more about it. But can you explain what Toastmasters is, and just for the people that maybe not familiar with it?
Yeah, Toastmasters is for you to help on your public speaking, help on your soft skills, help you become a leader. And one of the things is like there's different chapters all around the world. It's a huge thing. They have Toastmaster competitions where you have prepared speeches, impromptu speeches, and it's a good way to practice on the fly. I feel like it's also one of the reasons why I'm able to interview and cut the dead silence, because we have something where we have to speak within a minute. We were given like a random topic and we're supposed to speak on it for a minute, and we don't know what it is, but we're supposed to come up with it, whether it's true or not. That's what we have to kind of practice, that skill. And it's something we do every week. And no matter like maybe when one person shows up to the meeting, 3 people shows up to the meeting, 20 people shows up to the meeting, it's to get over those nerves, right? And the repetitive process of practicing how to speak, because like even your tongue is a muscle that if you want to like speak and you have to really practice it, right? It's one of those things to get better at something, you practice it.
I mean, it sounds like a terrifying prospect for many people, probably myself included. Like you've got a minute, you're going to think about something. But I can see how, just if you are doing that, each week, and it just desensitizes to you, and you just become part of it. I mean, even doing these live streams, I mean, I think that just does make you more able and less sort of worried about it. And I think just that whole thing of just getting on video. I mean, it took quite a long time for me to try. I'm going to go and do something like this. I'd thought about. I think my YouTube probably profile must be 4 or 5 years old, but just getting over that hurdle of putting yourself out there, and it is quite a big step, and you're learning and trying to develop things. But once you're doing it, it becomes a bit easy. And I think, as I said, the whole challenges of last year, I think, has thrown a lot of people in front of the camera doing this, and it's more of a regular thing. So yeah, I think I can see how it would help you just every so often doing a little bit of that every week. Yeah, sounds really, really interesting. Yeah.
Exactly. And no matter what, there's always going to be the nervousness that comes out. Like even coming on before the show, you're going to get that nerves coming out like, oh, okay, like this is a for new audience. Like, hopefully, you just got to really like, it's totally natural to be nervous and stuff like that. But, for anyone that's trying to get like, start their own show, do public speaking, speak at a conference, you got to practice it. You really, really got to practice it because someone can really tell if you're not, if you can't speak in by the public.
I think Daryl and I probably both need a bit of a restyle. I think we're going to have to go offline, maybe get some consultancy on how we jazz it up a bit. I'm liking the hoodie actually. Maybe we need something like that for Sunday Live. I think we've definitely got to think of something. Obviously the backgrounds are new, but it's great to see how different people do it. And obviously you're wearing the brand across your chest. It's a great advert. It's instantly branded, and obviously your profile. It's all very consistent. And it's a strong image. So yeah, it's fantastic to see.
Yeah, I'm very, very huge on branding, personal branding, whether it's even for SEO. I feel your brand is what will help you rank, right? It's one of those things where it's like a good brand. People do the brand searches will help your authority, help your expertise and trustworthiness. And it's something I always do. Like even I took branding, personal branding even to another level. Like in college, I was a party promoter. And I want to stand out. How would I stand out? So like, some people say like my hair look right now looks pretty crazy, but imagine two of these. I had two Mohawks in college. And
wow.
It's
just a toned down version. Okay, I get it. Yeah. I love it.
So and then like, it's something just to be able to recognize, being that purple cow that stands out is something that will help you in when you're marketing anything and your business, yourself. And it's something that I truly, truly believe in is branding.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Daryl, how many Mohawks did you have at college then?
Yeah, I did have hair, but no Mohawks. I was wondering how I get one of those on my head after these years. I've heard of different, not wigs, but what do you call them? Toupees. Procedures. But yeah, we definitely
get you one for Christmas. Yeah. I think the personal branding thing's important. What you mentioned, I mean, that was something we had Udit from Pitchground earlier on, and he said that again he'd very recently started to focus heavily on that, and he was doing a lot of work on Twitter mainly, he'd been, I don't know, had some mentoring, I think, and that was his sort of focus over the last year or so. Probably a COVID thing as well, who knows? But that was his focus, and he'd found that putting himself out there on Twitter, he'd got investors interested in him, partnering providers, media opportunities, and it just sort of really expanded. And that was his guidance from earlier on is really focused on that. So it's we're all I guess we're all our own personal brands. So yeah, it's good to hear that. Yeah, I
mean, it also represents the company. Like especially if you're working for a company and if you have your own personal brand, you want to see the people behind it. It adds extra value to your own company. For those like that are doing things. Yeah. I mean, again, and videos I believe is the fastest way to building a personal brand because you're connecting with the audience right away. Yeah. Going live, you're being vulnerable, right? Like, I mess up all the time. There's some times where like I just like froze on my live stream because I was like, maybe the person didn't show up or like, just some random things, but hey, stuff happens.
Or doing like a 12-hour Webbython like this, with like a week's notice to plan it all, that kind of craziness. Yeah, it's been a good experience, but it's amazing what you can do when you just think about that and come up with some crazy ideas. So yeah. Vulnerable, good word. It describes it absolutely. Yeah.
Our next guest that's coming up at 5 just messaged me and says that he has major storms in Australia. So they might have some patchy internet. So we might have exactly what you're talking about an hour to fill. Let's see if that doesn't happen. But awesome, man. It's so nice to have somebody that is. I just want to say, I mean, I think I used this word before, but a shining light in the industry that really helps raise all ships. And I mean this seriously, Andre, is that, when we put together our little thing, it's because we see people like you that is trying to bring an A game. Okay. To do things live is hard. To have it come together is hard. And I know that because I did live radio for 30 years. So I know how hard it is to make things come off and be polished and produced and things like that. But when it comes to this industry, us practitioners, you're a practitioner, but you're also an entertainer in a way.
Yeah.
You're bringing, some sort of another value, and you're becoming a YouTuber in a micro niche, right? You're a micro influencer, which is fantastic in the fact that you're doing it in your own way. Anybody that tries to do it Dre's way is going to be a copycat. There's you know what I mean? There's nobody, and I'm not trying to blow smoke. I'm just saying from a branding perspective, anybody that does the stuff that you do is going to be a copycat in this industry because you've laid the groundwork and you did it before anybody else did. So, I mean, I just want to say that to you in the most authentic way that I love what you're doing. I really do. I think it's great. I think that it's becoming a standard for people, or at least a like standard for the fact that you can put in some extra effort and then have those kinds of really amazing guests just pop onto a channel that has less than 1,000 subs. I mean, you did that.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I feel that also helps too, right? Because the professionalism and being able to like reach out, and maybe like sometimes like, if I reach out to even Rand, Fishkin, and all these other people like who have never even seen the show, and they probably see maybe one episode before coming on or whatever it is. But sometimes with people, those who haven't even seen the show are just blown away. They're like, what? I've never been on a show like that. I wasn't expecting any of that.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do, right? It's the element of surprise and being able to just bring that out and provide that. And what you're talking about, like the educating, engaging, and entertaining, those the 3 E's of great content is something that we should all be striving for. And that's what I'm trying to do. Like I want to make it entertaining, educating, and engaging.
And don't go stealing our idea of giving away a domain, okay? Because that's ours.
Yeah, I give away books. So if you notice, like I like every week, I'll try to give away books. So, and that's the genuine purpose to like help others. Like I'm here helping other new SEOs, like whatever they want to need, like whether it's books. I'm here giving away for free. Like I'm not getting sponsored by those books I give away. They're all paid for. Like if I give away memberships, I'm paying for those memberships. I ask maybe for a deal, like to whoever I give a membership to, like, and I pay for it for them and give it away. And again, I'm creating that audience, and I feel like one of these days when I do have not necessarily something to sell, but just if they want to like support me in some way, it'll happen. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, you're building up equity in your brand, and so that's really, really awesome. Let's talk a little bit about SEO. For our audience has a good degree of people that are gray hat, some that are black hat, and we even have some corporate SEO types of people like yourself. When you're talking to your marketing department in a corporate sense, do they look down their glasses at you and say, "Oh, he's an SEO. He does, he's not all these other finesse type of marketing. He's, do they look down at SEO in the corporate world like that, or is it something that you get a lot of respect?"
Oh, right now it's one of the biggest things, but the thing is, it's a lack of education. I feel like they don't understand. Sometimes they'll mix SEO and PPC, like, oh, they all think it's search SEO does that all, right? And it's being able to educate everyone is huge, because they do know the value of search, whether it's paid or organic. It's just being able to educate everyone and like being able to get the support of other teams, right? When we do SEO, there's also a technical aspect to it. There's also a content marketing part of it. I need the writers. I had a person, the company that like a content marketing leader who just doesn't think SEO is like a bunch of crap, right? It's like one time, and you think about it, it's like, look what the number one driver is to the website. It's organic search, right? And it's one of those things where you have to really have your data and be able to present it in a certain way to make those cases. Show that the technical, the dev team, how important technical SEO is. To like, look at this one improvement, and let's do it all to all. So it's all about doing things in little chunks to get it done throughout the whole company. So you're making those allies, but yeah. SEO is something that's still, like, I believe it or not, is still something that's not really within other marketers, corporate marketers, like they don't really talk about, like they don't really know more about it. You have to really, really educate them.
Right. And then, I mean, you have the aesthetic people that want everything done a certain way, but you're like, you know, from a on-page perspective, this is a no-winner, right? But it's, you know, branding wise, it sounds really sexy and cool, but it's not going to get you that organic that they're hoping to get in a way. Now let's ask a little bit about, you know, H1s, H2s, H3s, and, you know, backlinks. If you were in a battle to give the business you're working for an advantage, okay, would you trade backlinks for structure? I'm going to ask you a few questions. Would you rather have solid backlinks or better structure?
Oh, better structure, definitely. Because I mean, especially if you're a corporate brand, you already got that equity, you already got the authority, right? I mean, and the backlinks is like, you know, it's like, hey, you know, if I don't, even for me, like I have never have to build backlinks because we always get it. But even if I would have to pick one, it would be like that actual on-page structure of a page. So like even whether it's technical on page, but just being on page is huge because you can rank without backlinks. You know, if you have just one, if it's just interlinked within your websites, you can get your pages ranked.
All right, we're going to play another game here. Speed, site speed, or structure?
Structure. Again, this is something where this whole collab battle is coming out. I'm like, and it's something where it's like, it's maybe like one of those HTTPS type of things or whatever. But again, it's like, I've seen slow pages rank higher than these fast pages. It's all about the content and structure of the website.
All right. How about schema or structure?
Oh man, those are two elements. Those are two elements I always incorporate in all my SEO strategies. It's you know, the structure and schema is also one of my secret ingredients that I tell people, but yeah, but people don't like, they don't listen. So it's like I have the competitive edge by implementing the schema, and I go far as implementing like really dense schema with about schema, dimension schema, and you know, the product schema. I do this all for my even my you know, consulting clients on the side. But this is something I push for all the time. Like I had to actually prove to the dev team to create a little box for me because we use Adobe AEM. It's like an enterprise CMS. Adobe Experience Manager, and they don't have a place for schema. I had to have the developer create a custom box for me to like copy and paste my schema onto pages.
All right, let's throw another one at you. I hope you like these. Accessibility in 2021 or speed?
Accessibility. This is something that has actually happened. Like this past year, we had a redesign, and I was trying to mark everything up, right? Like all the H1s, H2s on the page and like how it should be structured. The accessibility team came right in like, nope, sorry, like you have to structure doing this way. And then at the same time, I was looking at it, it still made sense. I was like, but you know, people like some SEOs don't understand, like we may be making H1s, H2s, H3s a certain way, but it's totally different order when you kind of like work on it with the accessibility team. So I feel if you have a good accessibility team, or if you're working with accessibility standards, you're off on a great start for SEO.
Awesome. I got another one. Is that okay, Simon? Yeah, these are great questions. This is a good list. I wonder what you're going to come up with next. Yeah.
All right. Well, the next one is, what do you think the future of mobile apps are versus progressive web apps in the corporate world? Do you think that the typical, full-on developed iOS or Android apps are going to be around, or do you think that more things, because it seems like everything's going progressive web apps?
Yeah, I mean, but it depends on the company, right? Because I mean, typical SEO, it depends. But it's one of those things where you have to. Some companies actually have a dedicated app because it's part of the product. It's you have to have the app for the product. Again, but for mobile first stuff, like I mean, I feel like even for big corporate companies, you're going to be stuck with responsive sites. I don't see like sites going like strictly like totally mobile. At least in the B2B world, I feel like responsive sites will be the one would still be stuck around.
Those are great answers. it's nice that we actually get a chance to talk about something more than lighting with you and microphones. You definitely know your stuff about SEO and about the worlds of all of this stuff. So it's great to get to pick your brain a little bit there.
No,
Anybody
of
on
course.
the audience? Anybody in the audience have any questions they would like to ask Paul Andre? Please go ahead and put it into the comments. YouTube is probably the best place to do it. And throw your questions, because we're getting ready to wrap and do the giveaway here in about 5 or 10 minutes. So
just whilst people are asking a question, I was going to ask one just about CTR and click-through manipulation. I mean, obviously that can be a fairly grey to black hat piece of work. Is that something that you come across in the corporate world? I mean, they're clearly going to have the resources to deploy massive amounts of CTR manipulation if they chose to, but is that something that comes up on the agenda, or is that very much verboten?
The way we manipulate CTR is through our meta title testing, right? We actually test meta titles. So we check and see which ones drive more CTR for pages. Okay. We use a tool called like ClickFlow for something that kind of tests like what's getting more clicks and stuff like that. I'm a big advocate of like actual referral traffic and stuff like that. Just being able to do it that way, but no bots or anything like that.
No micro workers or
no,
that kind of stuff.
None of that stuff. But yeah, because I mean, I'll tell you this: like when I first got into the enterprise world, again, we were all like, we didn't know we were doing black hat. Like if you were doing SEO for 15, 20 years ago, and I the first corporate company I worked for, I actually bought social signals and all these stuff, and then I figured out like, oh crap, this is not, we're not supposed to be doing this stuff. But it worked though. It worked.
Yeah,
it definitely worked.
Yeah.
But and the site, since it was like a big site, we didn't get dinged or anything, because it was just a little thing. But it did work for these single pages. But and I'm fortunate enough, like, I mean, I'm fortunate enough that it didn't tank the site or anything like that, because it was for a public trading company. But yeah, and then when I figured out like the differences between black hat, white hat, that's when I actually kind of like, kind of toned things down.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for that. Adam's just got a question here. He's just saying, what's the most inspirational book you've ever read?
For me, it's how to win friends and influence people too. I mean, it's one of the it's and that one, and Think Rich and think what's that? Think Rich and now I'm forgetting the things by Napoleon Hill.
Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Those are the two books that I've read that actually have changed my mindset. It's all about your mindset, because if your mindset is stuck like on the past, or you're just surrounding yourself by like negative people, those two books will get you out there on bringing that great energy and being able to have a growth mindset.
I have a question for you. Do you have a SEO side hustle in that you're doing like CPA offers, affiliate, any kind of lead generation?
No. I do have a side hustle, which is Dre.me, my agency. I do consulting on the side, which I'm fortunate enough. My company says as long as they're not competitors, they're fine with me consulting for other companies. And I'm very picky. I'm only going to work with like enterprise companies, maybe some startups with some that understand the value of SEO. I'm not here to pitch myself on what I can do. I'm here to like do what's that's needed to be done. And it's one of those things where it's like, I'll only take referrals because, hey, I do have a full-time job still, and I can only offer like a certain amount of hours on the side to consult. But yeah, no, I always wanted to get into affiliate marketing. That's something I've always been asking around, because I know that can be that passive income that as long as you get sites ranked. I mean, that's something I used to do when I was still doing like the black hat stuff. I used to build mass web pages with WordPress sites by using product item descriptions and stuff like that, and then linking back to Amazon. So like those very long tail, like when searching like certain product, like long tail stuff.
Now you're talking my language. and I love doing like experimental things, like just experiment, see if it works, and then tell other people this does work. I don't like do it all day long because I get bored at that, but I like to just experiment with it to see the results,
No, experiment and testing is huge. And some people will say even it's black hat because you're testing certain things, you're trying to find these exploits. But hey, you'll never know what works or not if you don't test it yourself. You can like have people tell you what to do, but you really, really should practice it and try it yourself and really put it into action.
That's awesome. We had another question come in. So hello, any tips for dealing with SEO expectation levels, managing up in a corporate setting?
Yes, of course. You have to, again, it's all about education. You have to really, really have like put together like something, your own like SEO 101 playbook, like your deck that you can always share out, record a video, put it in your learning center, but making sure you have that educational part set, and then always tie a dollar amount. You always have to tie your dollar amount somehow, because you're not going to get the budget if you don't tie a dollar. Because they'd say SEO is like, oh, that's free traffic, and no, it's not. you have to tie a dollar amount, like of what it is. Like what I do to show that dollar amount to like management, and to show like how much value I'm bringing in. It's like I'll go to Google Search Console, see what current keywords are actually driving traffic, the amount of clicks, look at the cost per click for each one of those clicks, and say, hey, look, we saved over $5,000 in paid search spend because people clicked on the organic search ad of these certain keywords, and I do that every month. And like I provide the value of how much we're saving from paid search, because we spend millions on paid search. If I can provide that we're saving tens of thousands of dollars through organic search, it just proves the value of what we're doing.
Wow, that's some good stuff. Oh man. You brought more than expected, my friend. You brought more than expected. I not that I diminished anything, but it's just like I just was looking forward to your spirit and having a great, fun conversation. You brought some knowledge bombs. Hit the knowledge bomb, man. Hit the knowledge bomb for yourself. There you go.
Love it. No, but I mean, if anyone also like, I'm like, if you ever want to learn about video SEO, I do have a free checklist out there, seo.video/checklist, seo.video/checklist. It's how I got things ranking. That's how I actually first grew my channel too, because I didn't just go live right away. I actually started posting videos and getting them ranked so people can at least start finding my channel. So I got like a YouTube ranking factors on the first page of Google and on the first page of YouTube. So that was bringing some traffic, whether it's like, and being able to just get stuff ranking. The video ranking is so easy. Like you can do all that CTR stuff and it'll work. You can do what ranking was back in 2008. That stuff works for at least YouTube. And it's just being able to, add all that stuff in. So if you want to really check out like how I've actually ranked all my videos, if like one of the things I've drive traffic to because of the nature of my show is I try to grab being on the first top 10 videos of all my guests, right? Like whether it's like, whether it's whoever is on there, I try to get like within the top 10 so I can grab some of their traffic on there. So it's like, I do video SEO for a lot of my videos. And again, for like even my new channel, that's something I've been totally working on. It's all about research too, because like one of the things how I grew my channel on the new one, I just launched that just a few months ago, and I got to 4,000 hours within a month. And the way I was able to get 4,000 hours in a month was because there was a hot trend on lo-fi video, lo-fi music. And that's something I used to listen to when I was reading. So I was ranking pretty high for some lo-fi terms. And I put up an 8-hour video. I did a live stream that put some lo-fi I bought on Fiverr, and I looped it for 8 hours, and I got that ranking. And then it just brought in so much traffic and watch time. I was able to get the 4,000 hours within about a month. So
wow.
Video SEO,
That's great.
So this is the checklist,
so what
is it? Where?
Yeah.
I was just,
Oh,
I
yeah.
want the link
Yeah.
for Daryl. Give me the link. I'm having the link.
Oh yeah, SEO.video/checklist. I mean, I'm actually, this is actually going to be very, very valuable because I mean, I'm going to keep adding to it, and it's going to be pretty much the basis of my course. Everything on there, I'm going to be putting out to. So SEO.video. I love domains. Like I'll buy everything. So SEO.video, yeah, /checklist, and you should be able to get my video checklist on there, and I break it down to like EAT, right? Expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. And it's all in the Google search rater guidelines, right? It's that video. They talk about video in there a lot, and I extract that and put it all in there. That's exactly my recipe of ranking things on YouTube. It's all on there. I'm adding on to it, and my course will be based out of that.
Awesome.
Phenomenal stuff. Oh man, I got to tell you, what some great information. I think you're headed in the right directions with giving all this value away, getting people into your subscription list so you can get them off platform. If something ever happens to your platforms, you're good to go. You're doing such great stuff, and the books, whatever you're reading, buddy, keep reading it because it's good stuff. You're doing great. So that's awesome.
I'm summarizing it for everyone. So everyone wants to be like my journey. I'm summarizing all the books on Dre.tv. I mean, you can find my channel on there, but yeah, like I swear it's reading is a great way to mastery.
That is awesome. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to give away the 5 o'clock prize with you. It's sitesnip.com. It's a 21,000 exact searches per month, valued at name worth at $12,500. And somebody's going to win this because you're going to spin the wheel for us. All right.
All right.
All you got to do is tell us when you're ready.
We need a sound effect.
We press that over there, right there.
All right, he spun it.
Nice.
He's the first person to touch the
press the button. Yeah.
Look at all these people here today. Wow.
All right.
David H. Congratulations. We'll go ahead. Love it. So David H. will go ahead and get you into here so we can get back in touch with you and set that up. But wow, what great stuff that we have in this session here. Really, really thankful that you said yes to having to be on here. So
yeah, again, it's all about networking with everyone. If the opportunity comes, it doesn't matter how big, how small, just being able to help another person out. You know, it just comes back full time. I believe in great karma, and I feel like everyone should always pay it forward and just be a positive person and always smile.
I love it. So, how did you get the $1 Million Man to do your intro?
I'll tell you this. I actually, yeah. So what I did was there's a site called Cameo. If you go to cameo.com, you can hire any, not any, but there's a bunch of actors, wrestlers, or whatever, stuff like that. And then you could ask them to say certain things. And it's a great way to do some personal branding as well, because, you know, if you can say, you can build up your personal brand by tying yourself with association. And so my new channel, you're going to see a lot of me, where it looks like the celebrities talking to me. But yeah, so, check that out. So I paid a few $100 for a few celebrities to just kind of talk to me but they're just doing a recording. But yeah, cameo.com. If you want to boost up your brand, your personal brand, you want to look cool and say, hey, look at this guy, he's talking about me. Maybe your favorite actor might be on there. So cameo.com.
That's awesome. And what are you using to push the sound effects? What is that tool?
Oh, so I have something called X Keys and also the Gold XLR. So the sound where this mic's connected to a mixer called the Gold XLR, and that's where it has all the sound effects and faders and stuff like that. Then I have a separate 80 key keyboard that's programmed to do all the regular little online visuals and stuff like that, even the bombs. Yeah. But I don't think it could come on. I don't think you can hear it, but only when I'm patching it in. But you can see it, right? So there's something that has all visuals. Yeah.
Nice.
And so it ties the sound with that visual at the same time. Is that what you do? Is that separate files?
Yes. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. So you have to you kind of connect it and put it together. It's it's actually a clip. You put whatever it is, an overlay or anything like that. Yeah. So you okay, press overlay, because I'm using a software called vMix. I know you guys are using some stream. Yeah, we're using StreamYard.
StreamYard, StreamYard,
So I'm using actually a local software. Yeah, I'm using a local software. It's something where I can stream directly from my PC. So I have always I have my computer's connected to the internet, hardlined, and being able to just stream directly from the PC.
That is awesome stuff. Awesome. Anything you want to add? Anything you want to leave with us?
No, thank you guys again for the opportunity. Again, I can look at this as an opportunity and reaching your crowd. Thank you for reaching out. Again, if you have next year, maybe we can do something. And it was something because I was actually in my own mastermind. We was talking about hey, maybe you should do because I actually skipped Black Friday. I kind of took a break this past Friday. Just because, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it anyway, so I was so full. But yeah, I should have did I was talking about doing a live stream on Black Friday deals and stuff like that. And then you emailed me look, we have actually a live stream on Cyber Monday. So it was already, I was kind of manifesting it, and it happened even before next year.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah. So if you ever do, just contact us afterwards, and we'll try to get you in on the show. You don't have to do the whole 12 hours. If you just want to do 4 hours or whatever, just kind of help. Let us get a breather, go to the bathroom, that kind of thing. Whatever. If you want to help us with the production to make it better, I think we're going to do this again. If I can twist Simon's arm, because we've had some really great guests come on. So it's been really wonderful.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
two-thirds of the way through. We're still going strong, and yeah, it's been an awesome day. So yeah, thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Don't forget to like repurpose this content, right? This is something you always have to do, where you have to always cut up the knowledge bombs, cut up those clips, and share those out. I mean, Daryl, you saw me. I was promoting. I'm one of those guys that will promote whatever I'm on, right? I put it on LinkedIn. I put it on Twitter. Like, you know,
thank you.
I love helping out. Like, I was even like, oh man, I wish I'd known this about earlier, because I could even did like a retargeting campaign on one of these things, because I believe, and again, it's all about video marketing. Like, you right now, if you're not advertising on YouTube, it is so cheap to be like very, very targeted. And so if you should be if you haven't done it yet, anyone that has a YouTube channel, connect it to AdWords so you can start building that audience, because anyone that watches any of your videos, it collects in an audience bucket in Google AdWords. Google Ads. So make sure that's connected, your YouTube and your Google AdWords, because it starts when you actually connect it.
Cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome stuff. I might reach out to you afterwards and see if I may be able to hire you for some coaching on some of this retargeting YouTube stuff, because you said it's very cheap to do it that way.
Yeah.
And I think I've tried it, but I just haven't had dramatic success. So I'd like to see what you're doing with that. So
yeah, I mean, there's retargeting and there's placements. I mean, if anyone is using Scrapebox, you can scrape URLs that are related within your niche and scrape thousands of URLs and target all those URLs that you know it's targeted. You can use any scraper that you have out there. But yeah, so I mean, different ways to do some ads on YouTube that can get for pennies. Like, there's some where I'm paying less than half a penny.
Wow, that's amazing. Jeez, half a penny clicks.
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's nuts. Wow. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for gracing our program by coming on here. Really do appreciate it. And hopefully we catch you some other time.
Love it. Love it. Again, thank you for having me on.